And good morning and welcome to Poppy's Workshop. And today is the 14th of July and I have been taking a 2-week break. Definitely needed it. The mind just wasn't there. During the 2 weeks I did try to get on the scroll saw. I got on a couple times, but yeah, just not really feeling it. And I have a new apron here, and I'm still trying to adjust it. It has the larger shoulder straps, and I think that's right there. And we'll get that there. Yeah. And it's canvas, but it's not as stiff as my other one. So, you know, it's a little bit different. It's got a little split down here. Yeah, there it is. Got a little split down there, so my legs can come apart a little bit better. You know, so little things. But what we're going to do today is I'm working on a few projects. I do need to get back to the toys, but I started doing some Christmas projects. I tried finishing another project, and it's really been a challenge for me. You know, I don't know how to put it. They're larger than I usually do. So, you know, for example, this is the one, and I had started it 2 weeks ago and haven't really gotten very far because of the frustration. Mainly because I usually do about, you know, 1 foot in length, and this here is I think 2 feet for the entire board. So when I swing it this way, well, it's coming out so far. I have the magnifying glass here, and that's what I'm looking through, and I lose focus. It hits my big old belly here, my old man belly, and it just doesn't work. And people say, well, why don't you use a spiral? Well, okay, so let me show you the difference here. Let me zoom in a little bit. And let me get this out of the way. Okay, so if you look at the snowman here, this is what I have done with a flat blade. All right, and you can see very sharp edges, very straight lines. You know, I actually had to do this in, you know, usually I would do this in just one long major cut, sometimes come out and, you know, zigzag, maybe refinish a couple spots. But what I had to do is, I'm going to cut this out, then I'm going to cut this out, kind of skip this, come out here, cut this. So I have to cut this out in little chunks. And again, when it gets to this position, this is going, where's my hand here? There we go. Okay, so let's do this. All right, so if you see the way the angle is pointing, so you can see the tip here, that's pointing towards me. And right now, coming from the blade, it's coming out a good foot into me. So into this area here, it's coming in as coming into me as 1 foot. And with my lens down, I can't see. And of course, this is getting in the way, so I'll slide my chair, I'll roll my chair to the left, I'll roll it to the right, trying to get the angles right. It just becomes very problematic. So now back to the question, well, why don't you use a spiral blade? Okay, well, that's exactly what I did here. And yeah, you can see that I cut it, but when I look at the cuts themselves, let's see. Let me take this. I'm trying to find, because I had to hack them so much. Okay, so let's move this in here. So there we go. I think you can see that. So this is a flat blade. Look at the finish and look at the edges that I'm able to do. Now, let's take a look. Here is a spiral, and you can see it's a lot more choppy. The finish is not as good, and even though it's a #1 blade, I cannot get truly sharp edges. And I like to nail my lines. I like to get them sharp, sharp, sharp. So that's the trade-off that I'm not sure if I'm willing to make. So that's been my struggle. Now, these here, I have no issue doing a spiral. A spiral will work very well on these little lines like this because there's no sharp edges or anything, and I can accept that. Oh, let me get to the back. See, and even on the back, you can see how the spiral finishes compared to the flat blade. I've made this post a number of times, this comment a number of times on some of the Facebook forums. Oh, that was my knee. I gotta get this up higher, wait a second. This is my catch tray. Here, I'll do it in front of me here. This is my catch tray, it's magnetic. So spare, the wood that drops off goes in there. I throw the spare pieces that I peel off. I keep a couple things in there, knob and stuff like that. But also, because of the magnet, you can't see it from here. Hey, JJE, welcome aboard. I keep my blades up here. So these are blades that I've used, but needed to switch out to something larger, something smaller, whatever, and haven't used them up yet. So that's where I keep my blades, and it just magnet. Let me get it underneath. There we go. But I've got to be careful on my knees. So yeah, we'll get that up a little bit. So anyway, I just lost track of where I was. So that's the struggle I've been having. I've been really, really frustrated with that. So let's go to this. This is what I have been working on. I'll hold it up here. So this is the Resurrection Cross that I actually started back in January, February, and it used to be a triple stack, and it is no longer a triple stack. I tore it off to a double, but the blades were just not responsive. I was using different species of wood, which was a distinct mistake doing that. This is 1/2 inch, so I did half, and I think the other piece was 1/4. I don't remember, so I wound up tearing them all off, and I've gotten this far, and I'm debating if I'm ready to finish. So let me do this. Let me go straight to me, laptop camera. There we go. Okay, so this is the back side. And you can see, for example, the face of Jesus is not done yet. But if you look at the angels actually came out pretty good for the angels. Mary is okay, but I think more detail might need to be added. And then these guys, I kind of messed up just a little bit here. But that's where we're at right now. Let me flip it back to the other side. And you can see how thin the lines are up on the face here. And so I've only done the jaw and down to the neck. I haven't done the hairline or the eyes or nose on him. And let's see. Okay, so the angel looks good. This worshiper looks good here. Of course, this is the back of his head here. And then this angel here looks very good as well. We'll get down to Mary, and you can see I got the top of Mary's head and around to her jaw, but I don't have her eyes or mouth. And that's what I'm debating about. how I want to approach that. And then here's the other guy, kind of overdid it a little bit. He kind of looks like one of those talking head toys, you know, where the whole jaw moves like that. I mean, it's kind of ridiculous. So that's where I'm at with that one. Let me switch back to the insert. Okay, so that's what we have there, and I will probably use a 0.20 on that now, but what I waited for, and let me switch to the Workbench, and this is a new camera for the Workbench, and I wanted to show you a few things here. I think I've already shown you this. This was a double stack out of mahogany. I think that's mahogany. Yeah. So completed that a couple weeks ago. Well, completed that cutout a couple weeks ago, but I haven't done the base yet. Again, the base would be easy. I'm going to Forstner a cup in the back of the base. I'll make the base a little bit wider, and that will, let's see, yeah, I can make sure I got my camera right here, and that will make a recess for the LED tea light. So that's what I want to do, and that's how lazy I got. You know, I think it is depression, to be honest. I'm usually very transparent about those kind of things, going through a bout of depression, and I'm prone to it. One of the issues that I have right now is that my medications for my arthritis got screwed up, so I've been rationing my medication. Instead of an injection every week, I've been going like every 2 to every 3 weeks. My doctor has not responded to my phone calls nor my fax. Then I'm going through the specialty pharmacy to get things done. There's been taking multiple calls. I called the specialty place that sets up another funding because this stuff is like $60,000 a year. I got really PO'd at, let me switch back to my face, I guess. I'll do a small face here. I got really PO'd. Is that a bench on a bench? Yes, it is a bench on a bench. It is, when I switch back to it, I'll give you the dimensions, but it's a portable bench, but I do have it screwed down to my big bench. I still debate about getting a regular full-size bench or anything, but this seems to fit my needs right now. It cost me like $80. So, you know, I'm not sure, but I'll show you in a bit. But anyway, at one point when I called the specialty pharmacy, I told the person, I said, were you born retarded, or were you dropped on your head as an infant? You people are trying to kill me. I mean, that's what it seems like. And my whole prescription database on the specialty pharmacy was wiped out. They removed the one that I was active on and had one prescription left to mail out, and they said they would mail it out, and they never did. Then the new one, I get all these emails saying I'm approved, and it never came about. So I had to call these other people who put in additional funds. They took care of things supposedly, but then they said, okay, call back Friday to the specialty pharmacy, and nothing happened. So called back Friday, finally got a guy. I said, look, dude, you know, I know that I was angry at the last rep, but, you know, I'm hurting here. I'm really hurting bad. And now the prescription showed up. So I'm going to call tomorrow to hopefully arrange for an emergency shipment. Because like I said, I'm skipping out to 3 weeks on an injection. And I can't take any pain relievers because of kidney damage. But let me switch back. Let's get off that subject. Workbench. There we go. Okay, so the workbench. Yes, this is a workbench on a workbench. So let's see, can you see my hand here? Okay, so this workbench behind, this is just hardwood. I think the table itself cost me $80. Can't see the leg. It's steel legs on casters. So this can roll around. Oh, I feel like my bra strap is falling down here. It also has, you can't see it here, but right here is my big drill press. I have another one, another table right over there that contains the Frankenrouter, another big light, and my soft barrel sander. So that's right over there. Oh, there. And then with this, we're talking, let's see, 12 inches, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, about 16 inches by 12, plus add in this here. It does have the clamp. And what I did, this did not have standard dog holes drilled out. So what I did over here is I drilled out, I think it's 19 millimeters, because I wanted to get different dogs, and I've shown these before. So these go in, and I can screw it this way, and then put in the regular dog there. I have this, which can go down and then flip that forward, and I can clamp things down, keep it from moving. So I wanted a little bit more flexibility, and that is one of the negatives about this cheap workbench here, the portable workbench. And I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, right here. Let's move that. I keep a couple things underneath. So here is one of the big lags that I put in to go into the other bench. So this is solid in here. You know, right, wrong, or indifferent. And I keep looking at, what is it, the bench that I'm looking for? It's a US tool. It's on casters, very similar to what I have for my my scroll saw, and it's about the same size as this table, but it's a full, what do you want to call it, butcher block with lots of dogs. You know, so it's like 36 inches wide and I think 58 inches long. But it's on casters. It has the drawers underneath. You know, really, really cool stuff. I think I showed this in another video. This is just a blade from a hacksaw, and I use it to trim up my my paper, my sandpaper and stuff like that. So I have that. Now you're probably wondering, let me get my finger over here, is what's this? This is just a hunk of wood, and it was from a failed project, so I cut that out. And I super glued acetate at the top. Well, this acetate works really nice when I am putting wheels on a 3/4 inch piece of wood. So I drop that in, and I gotta go get my other thing. I'll show you what I did. So without wheels, I would drop it in, then I can glue the wheels on, and they're automatically spaced. So I just, you know, put it on, spin it as I go. See, it's really tight right now, but then when I take it out, whoop, this is my fail. So this one here, this is going to be my drop test because it's wobbled versus this one here, which is stable, and all the wheels turn as they should. So this was one of my fails. I'll show you about the concerns on these. I have to rethink how I'm doing toys. That's why I have not been doing toys, because there's certain, what is it, child protection for toys, you know, choke hazards and things like that. So this, in one of the tests, needs to be dropped 10 times from 4.5 feet. Now the issue is that every design of my toys has to be tested. So that becomes a major issue in terms of cost. So now I have to rethink how I'm going to do things. You know, these were done with pegs. They have concerns, so let's address that. Let me just tighten that back up. There we go. So I tighten that in there, and then I can go boop, boop, get it on, let the glue set, and then off it goes, and we're done. So it's very quick. So this is a choke tester, and let me show you some of the parts that I have. And this is where I have to rethink. You've seen a lot of the toys that I've done, and this wheel is the smallest that will not go down. This is the average size, I think, of a 3 or 4-year-old. So it won't go down. This is a shaped one. That goes further down, so I can do a slab like this, and I think it's 1 1/4 inches. This one here is close. They may consider this a choke hazard, I'm not sure. But this is also the same 1 1/4, but because it is shaped, there's some parts of the wood taken off. This is the usual standard that I use, which is great. Now, one of the toys, or a couple of the toys that I did, had little people, so that becomes an issue. Definite choke hazard. I moved my stickers. Where are my stickers? Well, I have stickers that I'm going to put on the toys that say not to be used 3 and under, choke hazard, but there are exceptions, or it can cause problems. A parent gives a toy that's not supposed to be for under 3 and the kid chokes, they're going to sue me. So this just really screws up what I wanted to do in Poppy's workshop for the toy making. I am going to switch to larger toys. Now what I'm hoping is, I'll focus on this style. I have the dog, I have the hippo, what are some of the other ones I have? The elephant, I have a few different designs, a whale, and I would use these wheels on it. So the nice thing is, this is not a choke hazard, this is not a choke hazard. However, if I use pegs, there once was a woman with a wooden leg named Peg. What was the name of her other leg? So I have, that was bad. So I have this, and it goes in. It would be glued. I'm not going to put it in because I try to make it very tight. So that's one way that I do it with the peg. However, the issue is if there is a drop test, or this is dropped, then that's not a problem, but that's a problem. Now, what I'm switching over to is a through axle. So I will take, I thought I had them here. Find a scrap here. Of course it falls as I reach in. This is short. But what I will do is I will do a through axle, which will give it more strength. And if it breaks, the hope would be that it breaks like this, so that technically, well, let me put it on a slab, or let me go back to the large, well, nah. If it breaks something like this, so that it is not necessarily a choke hazard. So that is one of the switches that I'm making, is to go to a back to the through axles versus the pegs. And that causes issues because what I've gotten are these recessed hubs, and what I really need are the extended hubs. So then I would just sand after gluing nice and flush. And that's how I've finished a lot of toys like that. So that is the struggle that I've had for the past few weeks, trying to figure out what I'm going to do in terms of my toys. I've stopped making the 125 toys that I've been working on. I've got like 50 done. And I don't know if I can give them away or not. I've got to think of liability. I mean, here I am on the cusp of retirement. Can you imagine if I get sued? I'm up a creek. It's not good at all. So Let's talk about some of the other things on the table here. Going back to what I was discussing about the magnifying glass and getting hit in the belly, blah, 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 on turning using the flat blades. Well, this was actually given to me with multiple lenses and stuff. This was given to me from my Secret Santa at NATO. And this actually works pretty well. I've got to get used to it. And, you know, it has a nice light on it if I need it. And now this gives me freedom to move my head to different planes. So that's good. So I tried using that yesterday, and it's going to take a bit to get used to, that's for sure. So that's what I'm going to wear today versus my bifocals and going through a 5-time reader. I talked about the Mary's face, for example, and get the 020. The issue that I have right now, I forgot the size of the bit. My smallest bit that I currently have is this. So it just makes an ungodly size hole when you're trying to do a fine line. So I ordered a whole bunch of micro, I don't know if you can see that or not, in the plastic. I've ordered some micros. These are the smallest, and then they go to the larger sizes. So I'm going to try those with a 020, and I can either do it by hand or I'll just put it on the drill press and see how that goes. But there is a hand drill to it. I can also put it on the Dremel because I think that's the same, yeah, that's the same chuck size as my rotary tool here. But with the way my hands shake when I'm trying to do something, let's see. Yeah, my hands are not as steady as they used to be. I used to have surgeon hands. I mean, I used to have rock steady hands. But yeah, 62 years in, it causes problems. I think these actually are even more, might even have more micro in this kit here. So I'm going to see what it is. I'll get some scrap wood and see how that works on the scrap wood, and then threading a 020 in. So I think that kind of covers everything. That's a lot of talking, 30 minutes. Let me get my chair up higher, and let's switch back to the scroll saw and figure out what we're going to do here. I have been using a number 3 blade and also, as I said, a number 1 spiral blade. So let's see. I'm trying to find my blades on the side here, so pardon me for a moment. I can't see my markings. I think that's a 3, a 5, a 7. I think this, wait a second, I've got to come around. Hold on for a second. Hold on. And now, actually, I wanted to show you one other thing that I did, which was really simple, stupid simple. So where are my number 1s? Okay, number 1s are in the red. Let me grab one. I couldn't reach it anyway. So I'm going to switch to a number 1, see how that does. Because I found I'm doing a double stack with walnut, and I find that the blade dulls pretty quickly with the sharp turns. The number 3 does, so that becomes an issue with heat, and then the blade, of course, loses its flexibility. But let me switch for a moment here. I wanted to show you this little thing that I did here. This is really silly. So one of the issues that you have is when you're doing pegs on 3/4 inch wood or whatever, is the peg needs to be cut. So you can see how that almost goes through the other side. Let me get the dog back because the dog is 3/4 inches. So there we go. So you can see how that looks. Now what I was doing is I was trying to hand measure, then I'd mark it with a pencil, then I'd sand it to the pencil, and it's like, man, that's silly. So what I decided to do is I took one of the slab wheels and then I kept sanding it, sanding it, sanding it to get to the right thickness so that when it is sanded flat, when it's sanded flat, and that's removed, so look where the wheel finishes, let me get that out. So look where the slab finishes, and you can see it's almost halfway. So if I take that where my finger is and sand that nib off, then remove the slab wheel, that's at the perfect distance. So what I do is I set it up like this. So here is the peg, slide it through the wheel, then through the trimmed slab, and you'll see that I did mark with marker, with the, with a Sharpie, just to tell how much I'm sanding off of this piece, because, you know, if I keep sanding this piece, then I'm going to lose my tolerance. So I go to my little belt sander or my disc sander, and I just go like this, and then as soon as I touch the slab, boom, I'm done. And then it's at the perfect length to be glued on. So I'll make a couple of these. This is for the 3/4 inch piece of wood for the peg. Go like that, sand it, and I'm done. It takes 2 seconds, I think, after I get it in. So I think a total of maybe 4 or 5 seconds versus taking me 30 seconds to do it the other way. So that was just one of the things that I came up with to make my life easier. Same thing with this little jig here for putting wheels on. So again, I can do this. I'll take, I don't know if I can do it with this guy. Yeah, I guess I can. Because these pieces of wood here just center. So I put that on, then I would, well, I'll just do it like that. Put the wheel, and we're done. These may be a little bit too small. I may have to make another one for the smaller. I'll do an arc or something. So just a simple thing to do. So let's switch back. Let's get on the scroll saw here. Okay, so back on this. So I'm going to try a number 1, and this stack is basically, what is it, 1/4 inch? Yeah, so it's a 1/4 stack walnut, so 1/2 inch total. So in itself, it's not too difficult to cut. It's funny, my hands shake so much nowadays. Yeah, I've been nibbling that out, so that's been a problem. Wow, that's pretty bad that I've done this here. There's from a lot of side movement this way. And I think that's a lot of the struggles that I've been having with, oh, well, that didn't work very well, now did it? Wait a second here. I'm missing. Yeah, I'm just Not feeling it. Come on. All the muscle memory. I mean, 2 weeks. That's I didn't realize 2 weeks would do me in like that. Let's get this one out of the way. And you know, it's so nice and quiet. It's amazing how quiet that is. Okay, so let me take a look here. I guess I'm going to do this portion here. I'm cutting out the red area. So here we go. So this is what I'm going to cut out. So this is going to take a lot of turning. And again, with a spiral, I won't have to turn much. You know, I turn just so that I can see the line, but, you know, but look at how many sharp points there are, and you cannot, at least me, there may be some folk who can do it, but I can't get those sharp edges. I'll tell you, I am really not used to doing long pieces, and I just saw somebody post on Facebook, I think he did a Russ Beard piece, and it was like 24 by 24, bigger than that. It's like, and he said he did it with flats. I'm like, dude, how did you do that? You know, and they just slide side to side, I guess. All right, I think I'm ready to start. Let me, let's back out a little bit here. I think that's pretty good. And you know, I'm going to get this out of the way for you, and we're just going to use suction. So what I'm going to do now is let me get my noise canceling headphones on, turn them on. There we go. And actually, I'm going to switch to my other glasses. I'll switch to these. Let's get the light over. Well, yeah, I got to get used to these. And I got to figure out how... See, this is hitting my belly now. So I'm going to slide to the right. I could start that way, then work here. All right, so I think I'm going to start this way on this. So I'm going to turn on the vacuum, so things are going to get a little bit noisy now over the air conditioner. So I have to lean in a little bit with these lenses. Issue that I have, I'm going off on just a little bit. I am so not used to using these lenses. I'm going to go higher a little bit here. Got my accuracy. My accuracy is off. So I'm just making a little turnaround there. Because I am this is the frustration that I've been having. focal length on these glasses is very shallow. The other issue is spinning. See how I back out? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to revisit these little knockouts. So I'm going to just follow the basic. Damn! Little knockouts, I'm just going to skip those, revisit them. Yeah, I'm going to try different ranges. You know, and realistically, on these wiggle waggles, these lines, do I need to be absolutely accurate? No. Nothing is dependent upon it, and people won't be able to tell. Other than, at the cross itself, for example, on this Orthodox church. Yeah, there's certain portions where you want accuracy on the stars. I'm going to revisit this out. Roof accuracy is nice. Come on, turn here. So I have to exaggerate and turn a little bit to get that blade to snap. And the number one seat, nah, not too far. I have my right hand all the way out. So I am not, this drives me up the wall. I'll revisit it, but I should be able to make that turn easily, and I can't. And I'm going off the line of it, so I don't know if the blade is already. See, this went back almost a quarter of an inch. I'm trying to anchor the wood so I don't do that. A little bit more space to make this turn. I've got to slide back my chair, lean forward, it's very fatiguing, cross me down. reshift, and try and get back on the line. Slide back again, and I'm losing focus. So this line right now, I'm just guessing. So far I'm bouncing back. This is what really torquing me. So yes, would a spiral make some things easier? No, I don't. Since I'm struggling on this, I'm going to use the landscape. Yeah, so there'll be a lot of spots to revisit, but it'll take some of the pressure off the blade and do some of the friction. That's not really the blade. So you look how much I'm missing back. That's because I'm slid back so far. Some additional comments. So the other thing that happened last weekend, my wife, my daughter, and my grandson took a trip that ultimately led up to the Finger Lakes of New York. They did stop in the Pennsylvania Dutch Country for a few days, so my grandson could experience that. Anyway, they were on the way back Sunday, and they made it. This is an 8.5 hour drive. So they left Sunday morning, and Sunday evening, they had made it to Williamsburg, Pennsylvania, which is about an hour from where we live, and the vehicle started overheating. So drove 2 cars out with my son-in-law. I brought 5 gallons of water, hoping that it was just a simple overheat. But that did not work. I filled up the reservoir. I didn't chance to open up the radiator cap. And filled it up and got it on the road. And as I was on the highway, hit the first exit. And said, yeah, this is rising up too fast. Then the chimes go off for overheating. The temperature gauge had already pegged out max and then dropped to 0, which means complete system failure. So at the second exit, I'm bailing off the exit, and just as I hit the exit, the engine dies. So I'm coasting, no power steering, and thankfully there was a resort just off the ramp. So I'm going to So I was able to pull into the resort slightly downhill, sharp left turn in front of the main building, sharp left turn into a parking lot where I was getting a walk. My wife was following me in my truck. She, of course, didn't want to drive the minivan anymore. So that's Sunday night. So we just went home. I went to the office and hey, if I leave it here overnight, I'm stuck. As it turned out, here's my phone number, blah, blah, blah. They were very gracious, and it was very nice. And she said, yeah, just as long as you don't leave it here 3 days or so. So no, I'm coming back. So we drove back Monday to meet the tow truck. And the tow truck was supposed to arrive between 12 and 1. I scheduled it in AAA. Scheduled at AAA between 12 and 1, so left a little bit before 11 to make the 12 o'clock. Well, we're going through the Hampton Roads Bridge Tunnel, which is only like 15, 20 minutes normally from my house, but there's traffic, of course, because there's all kinds of construction going in 2 new tubes. And the tow truck driver calls, says, I'll be there in 20 minutes or 15 minutes. We're like, wait, we're not supposed to be there till 12. And we're just at the HRBT. And my wife said, can you please drive really slow? Because he said they only wait 10 minutes. It's like, don't do that to us. We're driving an hour. But the funny thing is, I put the pedal to the metal. I tried not to speed too much, not exceeding 5 miles over. No, I'm just going to do it. Funny thing is, we're taking this left-hand exit to the parks where the resort is, and just as I hit the exit, I see the oncoming exit, and I see a flatbed. I'm like, nah, no way, dude. And it was our tow truck driver. Very nice gentleman, very efficient, knew what he was doing, very pleasant man. Took us to the garage that was about 8 miles away. And then left it there. So this is Monday, because I was taking the day off from work. So they said, we probably won't be able to get to it till tomorrow, but we will send a report. And the following morning I did receive a report. And it was a crack, a hole. I'm going to do a revisit on all these. Hold on. Crack in the radiator. The hoses were also original, so the radiator had 164,000 miles on it. And in the last 2.5 months, my wife had done over 3,000 miles of driving to Ohio and New York. And that goes over mountains, lots of strain on the brakes and cooling system, etc. So the repairs cost $1,500. And that's like, give me a break. I know that I could get a radiator for probably in the 200 to 300 range, if not cheaper. But had no way of cheaply getting the vehicle towed. I think I need to upgrade my AAA that includes a single 100-mile tow. Because I could have towed it home. I would visit that one. I could have towed it home and replaced the radiator myself. Well, anyway, they had, let's see, I'm going to do this. I'm going to revisit this area. recommendations of other things that need to be replaced, like front brakes. Although they only have 30,000 miles on the pads and the rotors, they said they need to be replaced because they're down to 4 millimeters, whereas 2 millimeters you fail inspection. They also said that the struts needed to be replaced. I don't think they've ever been replaced. I gotta go through all my receipts, all my Carfax. I'm gonna go Carfax. And do that. And I know that would have been another $1,500 or $2,000. This place is a little bit more expensive, but they were professional. The whole place looked professional. The people looked and acted professional. You know, my wife was very comfortable there. You know, because most garages look like, you know, a real crap place and not, you know, actually rather intimidating for living. This place is none of that. Bathrooms are super clean. But anyway, the guy that I work with, he said, hey, just give me the bin. I'll look up the parts. And he said, we'll go work on the vehicle one weekend and do it ourselves. So I think parts I can do for well under $500. I think the pads are like only $20 or something. Motors maybe 150. Struts, depending on the ones that I get. The struts themselves, I think they're 150 or something. I knew they used to be 30. Let's see. I'll wind up doing the vehicle with my co-worker one of these weekends. You know, the issue is, this vehicle I bought for $5,000, and I did that in 2018, put over 50,000 miles on it. Been to Florida a couple times, and it's treated us very well. So, on average, it's going to cost you $75 a month to operate. I think if we keep it as a local vehicle, you know, because right now, used car prices are outrageous. I was just looking at a Buick Enclave. A couple years ago, I would have been able to get for under $6,000 with like 120,000 miles on it. And now this one was asking 11,000. I'm like, are you crazy? So here are the edges. You can see nice and clean, nice and shiny. I'll go back and revisit the different areas now. Okay, that did not work. Usually I pull my magnifying glass in. So, I'm going to revisit. Let me turn off the background stuff now. Okay. So I'm going to revisit those spots and get that section done. Trying to get my glasses off, put my regular ones back on. Let's switch back to the insert with the scroll saw. Nobody's there. Yeah. So, hi there, folks. So, yep, we just finished off, well, did the big cuts, so I'm going to go back, revisit some of these small parts. It'll be a lot easier now that I've got all that extra space to work around. The star actually doesn't look too bad. A little shaky here. I might be able to correct it. But yeah, this is the piece. I'll probably do this larger piece. Can't see it. Let's see. Yeah, I don't think you're going to be able to see it. Yeah, okay. So I'll probably do this piece here next to cut out. I'll smooth out, sharpen all these lines. Because if you look at this line right here that was supposed to do this little squiggle out, no way I could do a spiral blade through there. It just would make that way too wide and it would lose the effect of that thin transition. Same thing here, same thing here. Again, I don't get it on those blades. So, you know, it is what it is. So there you go. I think that's going to cover it for today. We're at 1 hour and 3 minutes. It's about all I can do. Actually, I'm giving away a weight set today. One of the people I work with at NATO, she is my boss. Her son is 16 years old or something. And I said, look, I've got this Olympic weight set, about 225 pounds of weights and bars, Olympic barbell, curl bar, bench squat rack, bench press rack. It's a combination. And if your son wants it, it's yours for free. Because I can't lift anymore. And, is what it is. So I would just rather give it away to a nice home and kind of go from there. Turn off the AC here. There we go. Make it quiet. So I think that pretty much covers it for today. I will be back next week, and may the Lord richly bless you. Make it a great day right here at Poppy's Workshop.